Hello.
Hi, Peter. Glad you can make it.
Hello, Darren.
Hi, Mariana. Great to have you with us. Hi.
Hi. So we have a meeting too. We are in, it's a bit noisy. We are in a restaurant, but we just wanted to say hello and to meet your members.
It's great that you could join us, for, even if it's just briefly. And like we said on Facebook, maybe with your club meeting roughly the same time as our club, maybe in a few months' time we could perhaps try and have a joint meeting, perhaps.
Yes. So here is the President Milan, President of Belgrade Skadarlia.
A very warm welcome to you all, and I'm glad to meet you. And we hope that we will cooperate in the future. Any good ideas how we can help, how to be like a true Rotarian, we are here to help.
That's fantastic. It's great to have you with us, even if it's only briefly. So, Graham, I don't know whilst everyone's introducing themselves, as club president, if you'd like to sort of say a few words and welcome some of our guests who are joining us. I'm just currently admitting guests to a meeting, so if you'd like to say words.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to our Zoom meeting. Because 2 or 3 years ago, we didn't know what Zoom was, and now we're all using it to great effect. And it means that we can all meet Rotarians from all over the world, which is a wonderful thing. We are the Rotary Club of Plymouth, Roborough. Plymouth is in the southwest of England, and we've been going for about 46 years. We thought we'd have a Zoom meeting on our meeting days are Tuesday. So we thought on the 4th Tuesday, when we don't meet usually, we'd have a Zoom meeting and invite all our friends from all over the world. And I'm pleased to see so many of you actually. So I hope you find it interesting and we all make new friends, and hope you enjoy the evening.
Right. Well, as I say, I'm just currently admitting a few more into the club, into the meeting here. I know a few of you look like you're on iPhones, etc. But if it's possible, if our visitors could possibly put in the chat your club name and country, that'd be great. Just so we've got a record of how many different clubs and countries we've got represented here tonight. And I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes just to see who else turns up, because I know there's only a few of our members here at the moment. So hopefully there's going to be a few more signing in just a second. So I'm just going to keep things right. There's no one else waiting to come in at the moment. So I think what we'll do, we'll start things properly. So as most of you heard just a second ago, Graham, our club president, just welcomed you all to this, our first sort of Zoom meeting since lockdown, and we're hoping to make this sort of a fairly regular sort of occasion. A few months back, we did actually have a couple of international guests join us. Natalia from Peter's club in Lviv in Ukraine joined us. I know she's tied up this evening, but one of the things I did ask her if she could possibly do partly for this meeting, being a true sort of international meeting here tonight. And I'm sort of possibly putting you on the spot a bit, Peter, but I was just wondering, is it possible for you to give us a sort of a short, brief update on what the situation is in Ukraine at the moment?
Of course, I can do this. I also I have like a small presentation of the things that we are doing. So, but I don't know if we will take this a little bit later.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, then the situation in Ukraine, in the western parts where we are working from right now, is quite calm. Only interrupted by, I would say, like every second day we are having a few air raids and things like this. But otherwise, then it's quite silent. Of course, in the east, things are very, very problematic for the time being. Yeah, we are still really fighting to get humanitarian support, and right now we are fighting more than ever because things are getting like an everyday for the world, you know. So the flow of humanitarian support is not so fast anymore. So, and this we really can feel, unfortunately. But the situation is okay. Ukraine is still fighting for all Europe, and they are keeping the front line on the same level as it has been for the last few weeks, I would say. So it looks okay, still problematic, but it looks okay. Thank you.
Oh, Peter.
Thank you for that, Peter.
Oh, James is here. James is here as well. That's good. James is also presenting us, so that's good.
If James would like to say a few words, and I also noticed my good friend Boris is with us as well from Ukraine. So, James, if you'd like to say a few words for us to go with what Peter's just mentioned there.
Hi, everyone. I don't see all the attendees, but I do see Peter. And I want to thank you, Darren, for the invitation. You extended an invitation to our president. She had an impromptu meeting at this time. So, but I'm glad to see Peter is here with us. I didn't catch the front end of what Peter was saying, but it sounded like a pretty good summary to me. I just left Friday from Lviv. That was our home for 10 years. I think that was really captured the situation, the flows of humanitarian aid. Well, to kind of put it in perspective, the first month we had 3 warehouses that we were using to transport goods in from Poland to Ukraine. Now that's just 1. And then inside Ukraine, well, in Lviv in particular, which is kind of the hub for a lot of the flows of aid, we also had 3. And that's been reduced to just 2. One is a facility that is owned. It's held within our club. It's financially supported in part by our club, Lviv International, and in part by Sheptytsky Foundation. And then there's another warehouse that is operated by kind of a conglomerate or coalition of NGOs inside Ukraine, including our logistics partners over the last 5 years. And that's a very large facility. That's like 800,000 square meters. It's automated, palletized. It's quite an impressive facility. But earlier on, just in the scope of what we were doing, there were 3 warehouses. Fundraising, we see it in fundraising. We have fundraised. Well, we have delivered. It's an easier figure to work with. We've delivered just over 5 million euros in aid, 95 trucks, and it used to be there was 2 to 3 trucks coming in, 22-ton trucks coming in daily. Now I would say that might be 2 to 3 a week. So there's a bit of fatigue amongst donors. And, which is unfortunate because the battle's still, wearing on. And unfortunately, civilian targets are becoming, we're seeing a lot more of civilian areas being specifically targeted now. Mm-hmm. And one of our focuses I'll mention, and I'm sure Peter will expand upon this later, is first aid kits. That's one of the kind of the things we're known for, is assembling first aid kits, tactical first aid kits with important things that you wouldn't find in a standard kit. Things that like blood stopping agents, hemostatics, and then tourniquets. So whereas before we were purchasing those pretty regularly, we see an increase in demand for them, like 500 a week. These kits cost around about $100 US. And so, the budget to maintain and meet the demand that we have now would be like $50,000 a week, which earlier on we were able to meet that budget. Now it's a struggle. So I'll leave it at there. I don't want to wear on here at the beginning of your meeting.
No problem. Well, as I say, part of what I wanted to do this evening was basically to get this update on Ukraine and sort of share experiences with Rotarians around the world of what we're all doing. I know Boris has joined us, and I'll ask Boris to say a few words in a minute. But Peter, you mentioned just now you've got a presentation, so hopefully the share screen facility should work. So if you have got a presentation you'd like to share with us, please go ahead.
Actually, I have it. James, do you have the same presentation, maybe, or I have it for sure? But and I can share it, I think.
You have the presentation I believe I sent to you, and it's similar to the one that we presented at the President's Ball. The only update there is that, yeah, that's exactly. It's going to be 4,500 first aid kits and 4 fire trucks. As of yesterday, we had purchased an additional 2 fire trucks. But other than that, Peter, yeah, that information is all current and accurate.
So now it's like the front screen that you see right now. It should be something like our Rotary Club response to the war in Ukraine, right?
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I will just tell you just a few things, because we will not speak so much about the dead and devastation. If you want to see dead people, then you just go to Google and you write Bucha, and then you see everything over there. We will tell you like a few stories in between. Oh, and I have to correct here. So it is like 4,000 IFACs we have made and 4 fire trucks for the time being that we have delivered. The fire
Sorry,
trucks.
Peter. The next 2 are not delivered. They are being brought in on August 5th.
August 5th. Yeah,
they are purchased though. They are purchased. Yeah.
And they are sent to the zones that really needs it. So some of them are going to Mykolaiv, some of them are going to Kharkiv, and these are the things, these are the stories that we seem to forget a little bit. And this is that the place in the places that I'm mentioning right now, they are getting bombed every day. So on an everyday basis, people, they're going to the basement, they're going to the cellars. And one of the things that we are not speaking so much about today, this is still something we have to remember, like future-wise. And it is that we have to think a little bit about the young people here. Just to let you know, one of the things, there was a bus a few months ago that was sent from Ukraine to Poland to Poznan. And this bus was full of 52 young people, like, no, not young people. It was like full of girls between 11 and 14. All of these girls were delivered to the hospital in Poznan, that is not so far away from the German border. And the thing about these girls was that they have absolutely no teeth in their mouth. And then you can start to wonder, why did they not have any teeth? Why were they hit out of it? Or were they like pulled out of the mouth of them? The only thing I can promise you guys, this is that these young people, they had absolutely no wish to live the life anymore. Just imagine yourself, your teenage kids are coming home, with absolutely no teeth in the mouth. And they have to continue some kind of life. They didn't want to speak, they didn't want to do anything at all. Some of the things that we also seem to forget a little bit, this is also like the older generation. Maybe you can relate a little bit yourself, if you have some grandparents or something like this. They are not so easy to be moving around. And these kind of people, as you can see on the pictures here also, they stay on site. It's not so easy for them to move around. Some of them, they are maybe 70, 60, 70 years old. So they would like to stay. They feel they have the right to stay on their territory, what they feel that it is their territory. These people, they are like stuck a little bit in the east right now because there's no food deliveries over there anymore. And then you can say, why are there no food deliveries anymore for the food stores? Because there's no money over there. There's no business going on anymore. All businesses, they are closed. They have been moving out. They are they simply stop to function. This means that there's no economic activity, there's no funds at all. So of course the owners of the shops and the stores where they can buy food, they don't really have any wish to send some deliveries over there because there's nobody that will buy this. But our club is still doing some activities here, as you can see. So we have delivered food over to them in these black plastic bags that you can see here. And then you will, of course, one of the questions could also be, but why are you delivering food just in black, like garbage bags? But there's a reason for everything. And in this case, it is simply because, you know, a truck can be stopped in whatever time by some people. They would like to see what is inside. And in this case, they would just open and they would see garbage bag that is put inside. Nobody has a real wish to sort through some garbage bags. So they can actually drive into the zones where there maybe, you know, the areas are closed for publicity. But these trucks, they can go there and they can deliver some food. And our club has also been delivering for 5,000 euros of food to these people. This is something that we really need still to take care of. Our young generations, you know, everybody is sitting in the shelters, like, as I mentioned, several times per day. And it also means that some of these young people, they are traumatized for life. You know, we have just sent, James, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we have just been sending a bus of handicapped kids to, oh no, they were like not blind kids, but they have.
Yeah, Peter, there was a summer camp in Klaipeda for children with vision impairment.
That was what I mean, you know. So we actually sent a bus full of people there, so which we also have been we funded the transportation to there. And last week, I think it was, we sent 116 kids to Denmark for a scout summer camp for a few weeks. And the reason to do this is, of course, to get the young people out of it. Let them still feel that they are kids, you know. They don't have to walk around every day and concerned about air raids and where does the grenades drop and things like this. Yeah, I know they're still thinking about their family at home, but just in a few days, you know, they will still be able to feel that they can live their life, you know, they can live it as a normal human being like everybody else is doing. So these are really some of the projects that we are trying to take care about right now. And as you can see here, James, he was also meeting with Shekhar Mekta in Poland for the time being. You know, he was trying to get so close as possible to the affected areas, and that was in Poland. But when James, he met them there, they had some discussions about what is going on in Ukraine. And I have to say that the will to support from Rotary has been really, really big. You know, James has been doing an amazing job in United States, and I know, like, positively that the Rotary clubs in Denmark, like Rotary Denmark, they have been giving us around 400,000 euros or 300,000 euros as well, you know, to support everything down here in Ukraine. Some of the areas that we are fighting about right now, this is really to have clean drinking water. The areas I mentioned before, Mykolaiv, Zaporizhzhia, Kharkiv, Mykolaiv, Mariupol, all these areas, they are blown to pieces, you know, and this means that there's no communication in any shape of water supply. No, you mentioned everything, it doesn't matter, there's nothing over there right now. And the problem is that there's no access to clean drinking water. And we have been making some kind of cooperation with a Ukrainian, this EcoSoft filtration system. This is made in Ukraine, and the other one is like Disaster Aid Europe, something that they have made. You can also see the price difference, but that's not the important thing right now. The most important in this kind of project is that the water system, which is from Ukraine, it is also sorting out if there's any like trace of oil in the water. And this means that, you know, speaking about the system from Europe, you know, it's also good. This is not what I mean. The only thing is just that it doesn't take care about the oil that is in the water. And of course, you can drink the water and it will keep you from dehydrating and everything. But if we are speaking again about long term, then I'm pretty sure it is not too good to your body functions to be drinking oil. And this Ukrainian system is actually taking out this oil, and we are receiving some very, very fine.
Peter,
yeah.
If I could jump in, the EcoSoft, the Ukrainian-made system, they're also taking off inorganic chemical compounds and heavy metals, and about 95% of chemical contamination. And not only that, but we've just signed an agreement with that company to service and maintain those systems. So we had both systems fielded, and we provided Zoom kind of instructions and then printed instructions. Even with that, a couple of the clubs that were installing these systems, they had difficulty. And so in the end, we realized it's better, we needed to get a representative from, you know, the company out there to properly install it, because we actually had one in Zaporizhia got fouled because when they installed it, they didn't pre-soak the filter, and that influenced the results. And so one of the huge advantages of working with the Ukrainian manufacturer is they support these systems. They will come out and do the field installations and maintain them, and that's pretty key here. Oh, somebody's vacuuming here.
And James, there's one more thing I would like to that you explain, because now we are having our friends from England here on the meeting today from Plymouth, and maybe you can explain about the disaster fund. You know, maybe they would like to be supportive in this case, and they can free some money for the water project.
Right now, we are working with a couple districts in the U.S. Lviv International has done 3 disaster response funds, grants rather, and what we've been developing with our partners in the U.S. is a multi-district approach to these disaster response grants. And this allows one club to take initiative, or excuse me, one grant district to take the initiative, prepare the grant project, and then other clubs or other districts can sign on. And so each of them being eligible for $25,000, there's still 12 million in the pot Rotary International has made available for these types of grants. And so it simplifies things administratively, and it allows these grants to address larger scale projects. When the disaster response grants we did in the past, there were 25,000, and we use these for first aid kits. But and when you have a larger scale project, like for example the water purification project, you want to be able to pool monies, and you don't want to individually approach different districts and have them take the money and somehow try to combine it on an account. And so with the multi-district approach to this, the funds are dispersed in one single amount. And another development that we wish we had been aware of a little bit later on is that those monies can be spent outside of the country where that district is located. That was a restriction earlier on, that, for example, if you applied in Roborough and that the funds dispersed would have to be spent in the UK. Now they've relaxed that requirement a little bit, and so, for example, going back to the water project, right now there's 200,000 that has been approved in a disaster response grant, multiple districts in the United States. Once that money is dispersed, they can use it to pay an invoice in Ukraine from the manufacturer EcoSoft. And so the money, it simplifies things in terms of the flow of money, administratively reporting, because there's just one grant application. And it really allows us to kind of multiply the impact of these types of grants. It's a really great tool. If anybody's interested in how that mechanism works in practice, I'll leave my email here in the group chat, if I can find it here.
And then while James, he is like writing his email, then I would like to say like the final words from my side today. And it should be, Darren, you have been working a lot around this like mental health and these kind of issues for the last time. I would like you to consider some kind of idea. I'm just like throwing an idea out right now, and I hope that maybe somebody would like to take that, because one of the things is that we are speaking still about the younger generation, and of course I have been working with Ryder for quite a few years right now, and I'm very much attached to the younger generation on many points, and they are the losers. Many of them are really losing in this game. I'm considering a little bit, you know, maybe it could be possible to make some kind of clubs or groups from, let's say, from England that could go to Ukraine, you know, and we could gather a lot of young people, and then we could start to speak about them and to be a little bit supportive in to loosen up for what is actually happening, you know, because right now we are growing and like a generation in hatred. And this generation could be changed a little bit, you know, so we will not have the same situation as we had in the Balkan area and things like this. But this means that we have to do something, maybe not now, because I understand that things are very complicated here still. This is something that we all have to understand. It is very, very complicated here, but there will also be a day tomorrow. So Darren, maybe that could be something.
Well, it's interesting you actually mentioned that, Peter, because there's going to be two things really on that front. As some of you are aware, I'm a member of the Rotary Action Group for Mental Health Initiatives, and we have been talking about this very subject about what can we do to help Ukrainians with mental health. So it is something that certainly the Rotary Action Group is very aware of. So I will certainly relay your message back to the rest of the board to see if we can sort of up our game with that and try and come up with something a bit more sooner rather than later. Some of which you may not necessarily be aware about, but certainly the members of my club here in Roborough and a few others will be aware about. Natalia, your club president, was very helpful with me a few months ago with Ukrainian refugees coming over here to the UK. I've been working with some other Rotarians here in the UK with a group called Bipolar UK, concentrating primarily on a particular aspect of mental health. But together with them, we actually put together a guide of mental health support groups and contacts here in the UK. And with Natalia's help, we actually got that translated into Ukrainian so that people can actually use it. And I don't know if Graham, our club president, wants to come here, because I know that he's actually had a copy of that, because is it your niece, was it, Graham, took someone in and found that guide helpful?
Yes, my niece has taken in two Ukrainian refugees, a mother and daughter. It's quite a performance, lots of hoops to go through, but eventually she's put them up in her house, which is sponsoring, and we do that for 6 months. And yes, and they're quite useful to find the leaflet in Ukrainian. So, good thing.
Yeah, and I know certainly other Rotarians around the UK who've actually had access to that guide, who have been hosting or know people who've been hosting Ukrainians, have found that to be very helpful. So again, if you can pass on my thanks once again to Natalia for her help with that. That's become a very helpful resource as well. And it's all available online on the Rotarians for Mental Health Facebook page, so people can do that. And so that's helpful. So, but your other issue for about sort of helping on the ground in Ukraine, I will certainly relay that message back to the Rotary Action Group for Mental Health there. So
thank you very much.
I was just looking to see who else is oops, I want to share the screen now. Just trying to see who else is actually still here. Before I actually open the floor to questions, I know Boris has joined us as well from Ukraine. I know there's a couple of other Ukrainians I can see here as well. But Boris, would you like to say a few words as well? Because I know we went with yourselves at Roborough. Some of our funds went to district there to help. So would you like to say a few words as well?
Well, hi Darren. I don't want to overburden your meeting. I'm very happy to see you again. Happy to see your colleagues here. I think the key thing is to understand that we're all working really hard to try and help within Ukraine, outside Ukraine, through the Rotary network. And we're incredibly grateful for all the efforts that everybody's making. We thank you very much, and Darren, you know, because we deal directly for the financial contributions you've made to the district, which have been obviously put to very good use. Maybe not everybody really knows too much about Rotary in Ukraine, but I think it's probably worth just saying a few words. We are currently around about 1,200 members, organised in around 66 clubs. I think there are a few satellite clubs within that. For the purposes of what's happening at the moment, we're organised from the beginning of the war in a coordinating committee that meets every day to assess the situation in terms of humanitarian aid that's needed, and organise together with our friends from around the world support for the kind of things that are needed in Ukraine. We have special groups for medical requirements that are organised and work very closely with the Rotary Healthcare Professionals Group. We have within Ukraine, we have a logistics team that looks after incoming supplies and distribution through the Rotary network around Ukraine. That you know, gives us the ability to be accountable to our donors, who, including those that obtain funding through disaster response fund grants, need to be able to close grants out so that they can then apply for subsequent grants. And so we have a full process within the district. We have a Ukraine WASH team, which is looking at water solutions, identifying the problems of access to clean water, and we're working with an international WASH group that was set up with fantastic help from a neighbouring district governor, who's now a neighbouring past district governor, Michael Fernando, that some of you might know, that connected a lot of the leaders of the Rotary WASH programs to provide the support that can be provided through those programs, through the companies that produce various solutions that solve clean water programs around the world, and are now helping us to do that within Ukraine. And that's amazingly helpful. And that gives us the ability to reach out to Rotary districts and zones around the world, around North America, around Europe, where the Ukraine Rotary team has joined several months ago the GB and Ireland Ukraine task force, led by Alan Smith and a number of people that you probably also know. And we meet on a regular basis, identifying both the kind of support that's being generated within Great Britain and Ireland, giving us access to various districts around the country, providing them with specific projects that they can help with from Ukraine, and you know, working on developing relationships around the UK, or Great Britain and Ireland certainly, and also around Germany, Austria, lots of countries around Europe, South Africa. Now we've also reached into, we're speaking to the 3 districts that are in Southern Africa. And you know, the response is amazing. I mean, it's taken a little while for some of the processes within Rotary International to really get moving, and in certain circumstances where there seems to be a bit of humanitarian fatigue, on the contrary, Rotary is really, you know, clicking into action and we're seeing amazing responses. People wanting to do things, and we're reaching out to them and offering them advice as to how they can help us. So that's kind of in a nutshell. You know, on a kind of local to local basis, you know, we're always ready to, you know, speak to you, to help you generate ideas, to help you, you know, obtain resources, to advise how it's better, which you probably know, to pool resources. I know there's the mention of multi-district applications to the Rotary Foundations for the Disaster Response Fund grants. You know, that's happening with certainly with districts around the US and in the UK as well. We're working on a water filtration solution with EcoSoft, which was mentioned as well, in Mykolaiv, which is requiring three districts to join in a joint grant application. We have 2 districts, one in Greece, one in the US, to support that particular project. And we're working across the board, really. I mean, it's an amazing effort by everybody, and we're incredibly appreciative of what everybody around the world's doing.
Thanks for that, Boris. I think what I'd like to do now, I know a few of our guests have had to drop off because I know we've got other meetings, but are there any questions of Peter, Boris? I think James has dropped off, but are there any questions that any of our guests would like to ask our Ukrainian friends here? Yeah, Ron, fire away. You're on mute.
I've just sent a note on the chat screen. I've been involved with district grants for Devon and Cornwall for a large number of years, and I've got contacts with several local Rotarians who have had a lot of experience in putting together WASH projects in different countries. I'm perfectly happy to step up and become a coordinator if somebody can send me some details of the WASH project to see if I can get something coordinated from Devon and Cornwall. But my details have been sent through the chat screen. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you. We'll certainly plug you in.
Thank you for that, Ron. Any other questions at all? Just looking around, seeing none. Peter, Boris, and I know James is now gone, but thank you ever so much for your updates on the situation there in Ukraine. Very informative, and certainly you've got our full support, and it's great that Ron's just offered to help out there with the WASH projects as well. So you can see that we're all fully behind you, and we'll do whatever we can to help out there. Now, looking around, I know we have got a few other guests from around the world, and I can see one there, Rotary Club Kampala. I'm going to guess that's possibly my friend Henry. Is that you, Henry? He's on mute, so I'm not sure if he can pick us up. Possibly not. Is there anyone else who would like to say a few words about what other clubs are doing around the world at all? I'm just going to sort of throw the floor open now. So would anyone else like to say a few words? Come on, don't chicken out on me here, guys. Come on. Would anyone like to say anything at all? Come on, Nick. How about the USA from Houston? You're on mute. No, that's it. No, you don't want to say.
We are working, you know, the district has been working with grants to help Ukraine. And I think Charles, you know, of, I see Charles is on here too. Our district is doing something with Ukraine. I know that Ed and Robin are actually the entire family from the Ukraine.
I'm not sure if Charles, if you got a reply to Nick's point there at all.
I have a note that Robin reported that in the meeting notes from last meeting, and I can't access that at the very second, but yes, I know that we are active in Ukraine.
Darren, maybe I
Fantastic.
can ask if you could share with me Nick's contact details, and we can reach out and maybe help to coordinate what they're doing with both with our districts and also with other districts around his area in the US. That'd be great.
Yes, certainly, Nick. I don't know if you've already done it at all, but if you could put your email address in the chat facility, if you're happy for me to do so, I can pass that on to Boris after the meeting.
Sure, that'd be fine. I'll do that. I was wondering if Charles might know more. I've just joined this group, moving from one area to another. But I do know the Charlesworth, and I was surprised. I don't know what group they got with, but they're hosting an entire family, children and 2 adults. Remember, I talked to Ed just a couple days ago, and he was out helping the family buy a car over here. So looks like that family will not be going back to the Ukraine, but will be now permanent.
Okay, thanks for that. Would anyone else like to say a few words at all? Right.
Darren, I don't want to monopolize comments, but
Boris, feel free to. This is like a sort of open forum now, so please just fire away. I've got no problems.
Look, a lot of help can be. I mean, if you have Ukrainian refugees in your areas down there in the West Country, for one, they're very, very lucky because it's a beautiful part of the world, which I love very much personally. But for two, help with the Ukrainian. There isn't traditionally a very large Ukrainian community in the West Country from the Ukrainian diaspora, but you know, because I'm from the UK, I'm very well connected with Ukrainian diaspora community around the country. One of the things we're doing with the task force in Rotary GB and Ireland is trying as much as possible to connect Ukrainian communities with local Rotary clubs, you know, primarily to offer assistance to Ukrainian refugees, and also to you know, to help, you know, share experiences, share resources and so forth, to do the best that can possibly be done for people that are, you know, displaced in that way. So we can look into the possibility of reaching out to any kind of Ukrainian communities that exist anywhere near your region, and perhaps offer help in that way. And you know, I've certainly spoken to, I'm trying to remember the name of the club, but down in well, I'm sorry about it. Down in the West Country, I have a friend who lives down in the West Country. She moved there many years ago from Wolverhampton, and she saw a Rotary stand locally, and she went and approached them and gave them my phone number and said, get in touch with Boris. So you know, there are a lot of things going on down there, and it's best to be plugged into all of those things. And obviously the stronger we become, much stronger if we're working together.
I would totally agree with that, and I'd say if you, Peter, and I noticed that here Natalia, can keep in touch with things which we can possibly do. We're quite fortunate in our club here tonight because our international chair is actually in the meeting. I'm not going to sort of volunteering for anything here, but Ron, I don't know if you want to come up with any comments with what Boris just said for it all.
The only thing I can say is, as a club, we've done a bit to support. We are a very small club, but I do enjoy putting together projects. And as I've said, I've already got the connection with the district grant committee. I'm quite happy to do a circular around to all the clubs to see if we can put something together on a district-wide basis to support the WASH project.
That sounds good. Or even if we looked at it, even just for Plymouth area sort of thing, try and get Plymouth clubs, because there's 5 clubs here in Plymouth. Just try and get those clubs working together for once. So
That would be an achievement.
From our experience of the Plymouth clubs, it's much easier to work with the clubs throughout Devon and Cornwall.
It's always a challenge. Ron, you probably know these people that are the key people who run the filter systems within the UK. So there are two units, one in Derbyshire called Aquabox, run by Roger Cassidy, you may know, and the other one in just north of Bath called Water Survival Box, run by Tony Quinn and Hugo Pike,
Right.
who you may know also.
I don't know them. I tend to do paperwork.
I
have control than actually talk to people. I'm not good at talking to people.
So somebody has to do it, don't they?
Yeah.
No, I've met Tony a few times, so I do know Tony Quinn. So
yeah, now they've Water Survival Box in combination with Aquabox, and also some clubs within Europe that participate in their programs. So in Switzerland, certainly Rotary Club of Potsdam, who we spoke to several times recently, and have provided sponsorship for the filter systems that are provided by Water Survival Box and Aquabox. We've taken delivery and we're distributing on a pretty active basis the water boxes and filters around the various areas of Ukraine where it's incredibly needed. You know, they're incredibly great pieces of kit, and the recipients are, you know, sending us photographs and videos about how they're working, how simple they are, and how grateful they are that they can actually access water that they can drink. So
yeah, it's a vital, important. Water is the basis, and if Ukraine have got an ongoing project, then I'll certainly be looking to do the best I can to support that, from whatever aspect we can.
Right.
We've also got contact with another club in France, Rennes Club, that have also relatively well established club and done quite a few grants, but they're less effective at producing grant applications, but they do support quite a bit of financially. So they were invited tonight, but unfortunately they haven't got too many people that speak English in the club. So when we visit them, we have to speak a lot of French.
I speak French, Ron. Let's set up a meeting. I know Rennes very well. A beautiful.
We'll get something put together.
They have run a project in Madagascar for water, a water program.
Yeah. Well, so, one of our main sponsors in the international group for WASH we have is Jeremy Hurst, who's now Rotary International Director and also leader of HandWash, the Haiti WASH program. So I dropped my contact details in the chat here, Ron. It'd be great if we could have a discussion offline.
Okay. Once I get some, I'll go back and get things together, and yeah, I'm just looking back through the chats to make sure I've got your details. Okay.
Or just reach out, Darren will give
Darren will have the details. Darren's got details of everybody from what I understand.
I've got a little black book. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Right.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone else would like to say at this point? Just a second.
Yes, I would like to say just a few words, you know, because now I heard that Ron was mentioning maybe that this is just like a small club or something like this, you know. But I will tell you just a few things, because the war in Ukraine started on the 24th of February, and I remember it still, you know, very, very clear in my mind. And after everything they started, we felt like really alone in all of this, you know. It was like everybody was like the whole world was a little bit in shock, you know, and how to react and what to do. And I think everybody was a little bit in the same situation, you know. And then after a few days, you know, then we start to see the pictures coming from around the world. Then there was a flag on a building from Ukraine. Then there was like a small like rally somewhere where they supported Ukraine. And all of a sudden, you know, you start to feel the warmth from all over the world, you know. And it doesn't matter how big it is or how small it is, you know. Now right now I'm visiting my wife in Latvia, and I'm driving around here in the lovely city of Riga, and then I'm driving around and I'm seeing like a Ukrainian flag in one of the windows, and immediately, there's some kind of support, and it doesn't have to be that much. It is just, I want to tell you guys, every small little message we are getting, every small visit we are receiving from all over the world, we still have foreigners coming here, and they say, yeah, but we don't feel that we are really contributing with everything. But this small flag in the window, somebody sees, and it gives them a little bit more will to support Ukraine. And this is also why we continue to do whatever we are doing. This is why we are sitting in these meetings all over the world, just to be there and to tell you guys that you really make a difference, even though that you think that you are a small club or whatever it is. But everything that you are doing which is connected to Ukraine is very, very needed. And we, as Boris was telling, we are really, really happy for your support. You really have to trust us. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And as you say, small things can make massive great differences. And I think we're all sort of small little clogs in a big machine sort of thing, but we can all make that big difference. And as I mentioned earlier on, we are all fully supportive of you. We will do whatever we can to help yourself and your fellow countrymen there. So look at the time, it's come up to 10 to 8. Now, a few of you who attended the online meetings I had when I was in my previous club, and I used to do breakout rooms, sort of I used to call it the sort of virtual bar, but I'm not going to do that tonight. But just to let you know that the next couple of months, we've actually got in-person meetings for the 4th Tuesday of the month, but hopefully we'll resume these online meetings probably in October. So we'll try and get a guest speaker to come along for that meeting. But also at the end of the meeting, what I'll probably look to try and do is also have a sort of 10-15 minute period at the end of the meeting where we split into smaller little groups so we can get to know each other a bit better as well, sort of things. But I'm not going to do that tonight. But what I'd like to just say is, for myself, thank you all ever so much for coming along here tonight. Can I ask President Graham if you'd like to say a few closing remarks at all?
Yeah, so thank you all for attending. I think the Ukraine situation is very sobering and emotional, actually. And as a club, we'll obviously do something about it in conjunction with the district. It's really good to be able to talk to Rotarians direct, and I think it's marvellous, really, that we can do. I say thank goodness for Rotary, really, because it wasn't for the Rotary clubs, you're in the worst state you are now. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope we can all attend our future meetings, and I hope we got something out of it. Thank you.
And before I close off, finally, I see Boris has got a virtual hand raised. So, Boris?
Yeah, just the club I was mentioning is Wadebridge, which is up on the other side of the kind of the peninsula to you, near Padstow, I think. So if you know people there, maybe we can reach out to them and get them to join in, because they were definitely expressing an interest to help, and if we can pull them together, then it'd be great to do something together.
I know a few of those members very well, so I'm sure we can reach out to them.
Great, super. Well,
Great
thank
stuff.
you again, everybody. It's been great to see you all, and thanks for your support, and I hope we can do lots more together in the future.
Thank you, Boris, and once again, thank you to yourself, Peter, yourself for your presentation, and also James, who I know has disappeared, but thank you all ever so much for joining us this evening. And thank you to everyone who's joined us from all around the world. I think we've had sort of South America, Europe, the Middle East. So we've